There's one game that was an essential part of my childhood that I've never done content on, and that's this one, NASCAR the game inside line. And boy, does it feel good to return to a game that I played as a 12-year-old in 2012, and now here we are in 2026, and I can tell you this game still holds up well. Hello everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel where we are checking out NASCAR the game inside line. I haven't touched this game in probably over 10 years just about at this point, and it was immediately fun to get back into. However, disclaimer, first time playing this game in about 10 years, like I said, I kind of suck, so do forgive the bad driving. Now, I know what you might be thinking is, well, is he going to do a series on this? Well, I'm not going to spill any beans, but I may or may not have been secretly recording like seasons on this game and other games like 13, 14, and 15 secretly, potentially. That way I don't give up on a series after like 5 episodes, because you guys know I love to do that. So I may or may not have done that, so that way it's impossible to give up on it because they might already be done. So stay tuned on that, but I'm not just going to say I did that, but there's a good chance I did. It felt so cool to come back into this game and, you know, kind of experience almost the tandem drafting here in Daytona, and then also the lack of talent of my thumbs on the analog stick as Matt Kenseth was out front, and I hit the outside wall like an absolute moron. And one of the things in this game that always grinded my gears was the damage, and how like the right side of the car would literally rip off. It would like shred, and it always looked really bad. That was like one of my weird critiques of this game. But we're here getting bump drafted by Dave Blaney, and this would allow me to actually pull back up to the main pack of cars and be in this fight. And it was really cool because you have like this, you got like this big pack, and I had such a huge run, I had to lift there to make sure I didn't just completely run over Marcus Ambrose. But you'd like have this like big pack, but then you would have like the tandems, like the cars that would get 2x2, and they would just take off, they would drive away. And it was really cool to see that playing out here in NASCAR the game inside line. And I was trying to work my way forward here in these final closing 5 or 6 laps, but I am still all over the place. Definitely got to work on maybe the sensitivity, because, well, you don't want to be doing that. Gonna go for a spin down the front straight away. Oh no, this is not gonna end. Oh my gosh, I just destroyed everybody. Well, at least I got an achievement for that, and we got our caution replays, which is always great to see as well. But we would recover and get back racing on a restart with 3 laps to go. And, well, unfortunately for Matt Kenseth, I might have screwed his race over, and there he is right there in front of us in the Best Buy number 17 Ford Fusion. As we follow Tony Stewart here, we'll look to the inside of him. How about as well the graphics in this game? Of course they're not incredible, you know, compared to now, but the game still, you know, in 2026 or 14 years ago, I think this game holds up pretty well. We have all these different camera views with the roof cam, the HUD. In my opinion, the HUD, I think, looks better than what we have in NASCAR 25. And that's, you know, this is 13 years older than that game. On top of that, you can make in-car adjustments throughout the race, of course, with the brake bias and just simply going up or down on your D-pad. Everything looks so good here in NASCAR, the game inside line. I just love it. The only thing I don't like is you can't bring up a proper leaderboard, so you can only see like the one car in front of you and the one car behind you. But we're on the final lap of this Daytona 500, and Kurt Busch out of turn 4 in the number 51. Well, he's going to do it. Kurt Busch is going to come down this front straightaway to win here in Daytona. That was a fun little race here, and I was looking forward to doing some more. We're going to try out a 1.5 miles at Homestead Miami. We're also going to check out a road course and a short track as well. But let's jump into Homestead Miami as Carl Edwards here in the number 99. Let's go. One thing I remember in this game is it was a lot of fun to play. Multiplayer was fun. League racing was fun. This was the game I started league racing in all those years ago. But one thing I do remember from like tracks like this, or really just a lot of tracks in general, was the AI weren't that great at a lot of the tracks. Like, they were really dank, and you can kind of see here they're running very specific lanes on this opening lap now. But as we come through to cross the stripe now, The AI, like, yeah, like when they run the bottom right here, like look how they kind of like check up, and like it allows me to just kind of roll right on by them, especially on like towards the exit of the corner. You'll see it, not necessarily right there in turn 1 and 2, but maybe turn 3 and 4 we'll kind of see it. It just kind of makes things a little bit easy. I am playing on the most difficult difficulty, which was champion, and yeah, I mean honestly it's a pretty good challenge, to be 100% honest now, but you can see these kind of checkups I'm talking about. They just kind of check up there, and even on the outside, and it allows me to just kind of move my way forward now, and I'm driving pretty bad, as I wanted to get up on the wall, but man, my car was so tight here. Definitely need some adjustments in this thing, and well, leading on Landon Castle right there, and we found ourselves in the middle lane here with 10 laps to go, and up the track I go into the side of the 88. Somehow we keep it off the wall, sliding across the nose of the 33 of Austin Dillon. And we continue on. My bad, gentlemen. And we were now trying to rip the wall, and we're getting as close to the wall as I could, you know, and still be comfortable, which was pretty hard here in Miami. But I'm only running in 32nd. I am running like absolute garbage here halfway through this race. And as these laps were going on, I was burning my right front tire, and the temperature was shooting up in it, and I was starting to get really, really loose, as you can see right here. So I knew I was in trouble at this point now, and decided to kind of hold on here to the end. And you see there on the hood on the bottom right, you can kind of see like the right rear tires, like they're all red, which another thing that's super cool is you can kind of bring that up in the game, and you got your engine temps, your even track temps as well, which I don't really think mattered in this game, but it was still something you could bring up. As I always wonder, maybe if you Technics had kind of plans to maybe implement dynamic tracks, if they actually had an option to bring up track temp in the middle of a race. But regardless, at this point now, I knew I was cooked. I was just trying to hang on, and with 2 laps to go, I'm getting just, I mean, overwhelmed by other cars here with the 93. I believe, who is that? That's Travis Quample. I was about to say David Rudiman, but yeah, not David Rudiman. Jimmy Johnson's leading, and I am hanging on for my life here now through 3 and 4. Somehow we don't make any contact with cars who make contact with the wall. We're down to 37th. And as we would come to the end here, Jimmy Johnson does in fact get the win, and at this point now just hanging on. Actually kind of got the car a little bit under control right at the end. It's 37th in Miami. My goodness, that was difficult, not easy at all, as we'll now head in to some road course racing at Watkins Glen. This right here was way funnier than I remember it ever being back when I played this as a kid. I don't remember road course racing. I remember it being dank, but I don't remember it being as insane as what you are about to see here. Of course, only 2 road courses we had back in this day and age, and kind of boring, to be honest with you. I like road course racing, so only 2 road course races. I remember being a kid being like, man, I wish we had more road courses to race. Now, of course, I got my wish, and as I slammed the guardrail there on the left side like an absolute dingus. But as we head down into the, okay, well, we got a caution, and I believe that's Kevin Harvick in the number 29, and he goes spinning here off the front bumper of his teammate Jeff Burton. You notice like sometimes it gets like a little bit fuzzy. So I am playing on an emulator, and yeah, like every once in a while it like does that, specifically in like the replays, which is weird. Now as yeah, it gets worse. I get right here into the bus stop, and now going through another bus stop. We were into overtime, well into overtime at this point. Mark Martin's way wide at the bus stop. The 98's cutting the bus stop, and Martin nearly wipes me out and takes out, oh my goodness, Stewart, Quample, others in the process. Another restart. We go down into turn 1. Everyone's just sending it at this point now, and Kevin Harvick's getting turned around, but no yellow as he slams into the inside wall because we were in 3rd green-white checkered, and of course back then you had 3 green-white checkers, and then the race was over. But in the game they kept the green to the end, which was the right way to do things here. As for now, here we are having contact with Kyle Busch, but we would at least hang on, and actually gaining some positions here towards the end now as we come to 1 lap to go. And how about Juan Pablo Montoya and the number 42 leading his LB3 wide with Dylan and Clint Boyer there into turn 1. Kind of use up that 15 a little bit, but he's going to fight back on the exit there of turn 1, and well, he goes back through, and we would end up 13th place as we come through to the end of this race now with Austin Dillon passing me, and now we're gonna have a little squabble with him right to the end here. Now we'll be wheel to wheel going into the penultimate turn as Juan Pablo Montoya has just one corner to go, and he'll head down the front straightaway to victory lane as we try to hold off this 33 RCR Chevrolet Impala. A little bit wide, but we're all good. We'll hang on now, and we'll bring it home for a 13th place effort. The road races, they're insane. Man, look at the elevation in the background there. Like, they have like full-blown like mountains. That's insane. But we come through to one more test. Anytime I play a game I haven't played in a long time, there's always a test. A super speedway, a mile and a half, the road course, and a short track. And now we take on Bristol. Now, I remember when I was a kid playing this game, Bristol was all about just getting a nice rhythm and a flow when you were driving, and it was so much fun. This is probably the most fun short track in the game. A lot of the other short tracks could be a bit frustrating. Richmond, Martinsville especially, with just the AI. But here in Bristol, really, really fun. And another thing in this game, man, you really got to, you know, be smart with your throttle control a little bit now. There's actually some emphasis on that now, but we're working our way forward now as I'm kind of hitting everything, walls and other cars. But racing the AI here was actually pretty fun when I wasn't hitting them or hitting the wall, as Denny Hamlin currently leads. But you can gain so much time right here. Just rip the top. I hit the 36. He's getting turned in the background. Robbie Gordon just turned him. Well, I kind of started that, so we get a nice little restart there, and we'll continue back on now with Trevor Bayne to my right side now. But man, I am looking forward to the future of the series of this game being on the channel for a little while, because man, this game is just a lot of fun to come back to. And honestly, like the AI and their kind of dankness, like it brings not even a frustrating element, but more of a fun element, especially when you come back all these years later. Now, of course, if this is like a current game in the AI where kind of like really dank, I would not be having fun. Well, I just bulldozed right through Regan Smith. That's okay. He blocked me on Twitter like 3 years ago, as we're halfway through this race at this point, just trying to bring it home and trying to get good at this game, as we're into the top 25 at this point now, and continuing to go forward. Oh, yep, that's going to be yellow. I just stuffed the 30 of David Stremme. That's going to, oh my goodness, this is a big one. We would hang on, though. We would get ourselves back into the top 20 at this point now, and I'm still hitting walls as we continue on. Another thing as well that just came to my mind, the game also had like all those like challenges and stuff, and we might do that on stream, or maybe I'll compile that into a video as well. But there's a whole bunch of challenges you can do, and I always enjoyed the challenges in these games more so than the challenges that we got in like the NASCAR Heat Series games. I thought the challenges in this new Technics games were way more enjoyable. As we are now into the top 20 though, we're just a few laps to go. Kyle Busch now leads the way as we come to the end. Final lap. I absolutely KO'd myself right there. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a fun series eventually, man. Oh, we're all good. Kyle Busch is going to win. We caused absolute chaos, and it looks like we should be able to hold on for 21st. Actually, hold on. Here comes Kevin Harvick, and not only Kevin Harvick, Joe Nemechek's going to get me at the line, and we end up in 23rd. An absolute blast returning to this game, man. Like 10 years later, and honestly, man, it still holds up a lot of fun here in 2026.
This year gives me